Every year you are given the job of ushering in and comforting a new group of children.
Her favorite subject in school is innovation. She's one who will be a medical. He was born in South Africa. He leads the sixth grade in personality.
It's an honor to be here, really. So I'll just get right into it. My name is Gabriel Gothro. I am a resident of Turpin High School and a senior. When I was asked to do this speech, I was confused. I thought, given the context, that they'd want to get someone who's actually been in the school district for more than 4 years and not someone who came in here from online school freshman year. I, of course, accepted, because I'm talking to you now. But that got me thinking about what I value in educators. And it got me thinking about why I was the one selected. I couldn't help but keep thinking, why me? Why was I the one giving this speech? And then it clicked. I was giving it because I had been accepted into the community of Turpin High School and Forest Hills. And that is what you educators really do. Sorry, I lost my place there. Most people in our world see teachers as just that. Some people who give our children information for our children to use later on in their life, which I suppose is true. But what you really do on a deeper, fundamental level is that you help children of any age come into their own and help them to be accepted and become their truest self. You are all so welcoming and accepting of new people. Every year you are given the job of ushering in and comforting a new group of children, and that is truly commendable. And it's part of the reason I've considered teaching as a potential career path. Children come in from all kinds of different backgrounds and experiences, and yet you all meet every single one of them warmly and cordially. Sorry. There we go. If it weren't for all of your support and kindness, I wouldn't be the same person you see standing in front of you today. It was the educators in my life that opened the door for me to start expressing myself to others. If I hadn't felt that welcomed coming into this school, I probably would have ended up a lot more reclusive and abrasive to people. But it was you teachers that gave me my first step into high school and made it so easy for me to blossom into the man I am today. So thank you all for participating in such a thankless job, and thank you for your time.
Oh crap, that got just a lot bigger. First off, I want to show our appreciation for all you do for our wonderful schools in Forest Hills. I would like to recite this poem to encourage teachers. Their words are more than a lecture. They spark curiosity and adventure, inspiring students to explore and strive for something more. Through lessons, laughter, and tears, teachers shape the coming years, building a foundation strong and true for students to pursue all they wish to do. So here's to the teachers, wise and kind, who light the ways to curious minds. May the influence be one of truly grand design. Author on note. When you don't give up on students that are the hardest to reach, it doesn't only build trust with that student, but with the whole class. Oh, crap. Kind of lost the mic right there. Okay. Teachers do more than just plan lessons. You bring the energy when we do not. Even when we show up with bad attitudes, your empathy and enthusiasm turn the day around. You help us build confidence in subjects that we aren't confident in. I'm thinking about math at the moment. Huge shout out to Mrs. Moran if she's in the crowd. Oh, man. It used to be so overwhelming, but now it's easy because my teachers took time to talk me through my thinking. It's amazing how you manage the needs of every student that comes through your doors. I mean, how? You support those with special needs while still challenging everyone else at the right level. Hold on, oh no. Okay. Got it, we're good. Again, you know that we appreciate everything you do. It will help shape our lives. We love you guys. Thank you so much for everything you do and all the time it takes. Thank you.
I may be the smallest one here, but I have big things to say about my teachers. My name is Glenn, and I go to Maddox Elementary. Today, I'm going to tell you what makes my teachers great. And no, it's not just the candy they give out. For starters, I'd like to start with my kindergarten teacher, Miss Smearsall. She's very playful. At the end of the day, she always made sure we had a smile on our face. I remember playing card games with logos. Miss Smearsall, thanks for all the smiles. How about a round of applause for Mrs. Smearsall? Next is my first grade teacher, Miss Taylor. She's very helpful. Miss Taylor always had answers for the whole class if we had questions. Miss Taylor, thanks for being so helpful. Let's hear it for Mrs. Taylor. Up next is my second grade teacher, Mrs. D'Agostino. She's very loving to her students. Each and every day, Mrs. D told us how much she loved us by saying, "I love you." At the end of the day, she gave out hugs, high fives, or handshakes to us. I usually chose a hug. Thank you, Mrs. D, for being a loving teacher to me. Yet again, let's give a round of applause. To wrap it up, we have my third grade teachers. Miss Coffin, my reading teacher, is the most thoughtful teacher in my Maddox years. And every book she read to us, she always uses emotion. Miss Coffin, thank you for being so helpful. And Miss Richard, thank you for being caring. You're not here to hear it, but thanks anyway. Miss Noble is my math teacher, and she pushes us to strive for excellence. Miss Noble's math mysteries are fun but challenging. We love them almost as much as the candy she gives us after we complete our math mysteries. Miss Noble, thanks for being sweet but tough like a hard candy. You guys know what to do. All my teachers are great teachers. All teachers should be playful, helpful, loving, thoughtful, caring, sweet, and tough. But the most important of all, they are kind. Great teachers spread, great teachers spread, oh God. Yeah, kinda, but great teachers spread kindness. Wait. Thanks for listening to my speech. Before I go, I still have one joke to tell you. Why couldn't the toilet paper cross the road? Why? Because it got stuck in a crack. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Cece, and I'm an 8th grader at Naval. I'm going to be honest and say I've never spoken in front of this many people, especially teachers. Teachers are so much more than what people think. They're mentors, guides, and sometimes even our biggest supporters. Every day they show up ready to help us learn, grow, and become the best versions of ourselves. Every day they teach, no matter the subject, shapes the students sitting in that classroom. It shapes who they are and who they will become. I started my education at Maddox, where I was loved unconditionally for 7 years. I didn't realize at the time that the never-ending smiles, hugs, and sense of belonging have shaped me so much. As a learner, friend, and leader, I will admit I was nervous to move into middle school, and I wasn't sure if I would feel that kind of belonging at Nagel. Man, was I wrong. I got the same sense of belonging here at Nagel, but in an even better way. Middle school teachers are truly built different. They have to work extra hard to keep up with the current trends and the slang that middle schoolers use. And I can tell every single one cares about the student's well-being. When a student doesn't understand, they make sure to talk to that student and explain in a different way to help them understand. Childhood is said to be the fastest years of one's life, but since being in middle school, it has been the fastest 2 years of my life. It only has been 2 years, but I have learned so much, not only about school, but about myself and the kind of person I want to be. From counselors to teachers to coaches, they've all had major impacts on my life, but teachers especially. Every teacher I've had has cared for me. Every one of them has shown me what it's like to help one another and be the best version of myself, and for that I am forever grateful. I see my teachers work tirelessly, and I see them sitting with difficult students, never giving up and always finding the good in every student. They arrive early, stay late, and always manage to have a smile on their face, even on the toughest days. Teachers don't just teach students about science, math, writing, or history. They teach life lessons that will stick with all of us for the rest of our lives. Classrooms are where students grow and become the best versions of themselves. I live with a teacher as a mom, and I can tell that it is very hard because of the immense time that is dedicated to teaching. She attends so much outside of school, and not just conferences and school open houses and carnivals, but her students' chorus, band, and orchestra concerts, their school plays, and sporting events. The parent phone calls from home and the money spent to make the classrooms and lessons extra fun. Being a teacher is definitely a 24/7 everyday job. Teaching is hard but powerful. Every day, teachers are making a difference. The world needs more people to take the world like teachers do. Teaching is not my path, but thank God it was all of yours. To every teacher here today, thank you for your patience, your dedication, and your unwavering support and commitment to our education. You're shaping the future in many ways, one student at a time. I feel truly blessed to come to school every day with teachers I know care and have my back. You might not hear it enough, but you are appreciated and valued, and you make a difference for every student in so many more ways than you know.
I'm excited and privileged to share with you all today. When Miss Woods called me in to the office to ask if I would share with you all, at first I thought I was in trouble for running in the hallway last week. But thankfully I found out that I get to share with all of you amazing teachers, so I'm going to get into it. When I first moved from South Africa, I wasn't really a part of a friend group yet or talk to anyone besides my family. But on my first day at Air Elementary, I felt so welcomed by my amazing first grade teacher, Miss Murphy. If Miss Murphy's in the house, please stand up and everyone give it up for Miss Murphy. Miss Murphy made me feel welcomed by the letters that were in my cubby from my new classmates. She made me feel confident to be myself and excited for the year ahead. So I have a question for all of you. What makes the best teacher? Some things a teacher can do to be the best is to care for their students, asking how they were doing. The best teacher draws out the best in each unique student and is proud to be their teacher. The best teacher is someone we can count on, and every day that we walk through those doors of our classroom, we know we'll get the same amazing teacher. I'm just gonna put that there. You have the power to inspire your students. You never know who your student might become. Who knows if they'll become the next president, a famous singer, a sports player, an Olympic gold medalist, or even an amazing pastor. So treat them like you believe that they can become those people. So to end it off, you have the power to be amazing on the light days and the dark days. You can impact your students. In a world that's inconsistent, you can be the consistent in our lives. So thank you for inspiring the next generation. Thank you for the candy. Thank you for being the best you can be. But don't forget about the candy. That's not the end though, so. But one thing I do have to say before I go back into it is, sorry Gwen, but I hardly disagree with candy not being the best thing about school, so. finish with this inspired quote by Sonny Vaccaro, the original owner of Nike, but I made it my own for a teacher. A school is just a school until that special teacher steps into it and gives it meaning. The rest of us students just want a chance to touch that greatness. We need you in these schools, not just so that we have meaning in our life, so that you have meaning in yours. Your teachers in Cincinnati, and your story is gonna make us wanna fly. Thank you guys.
So the students at Sherwood wanted to share with all of you how awesome you are. So on the count of 3, you're all gonna clap. And it's after 3, not on 3. And if you don't do it right, then I'm gonna be mad. So you got this. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, now who in the room messed up? Was it you, Mrs. Sharkey? Okay, now let's hear what our own students have to say and why they love their teachers.
The sergeant gives really good hugs. She's beautiful. She's nice. My teacher's really nice, and whenever we walk into school, she comes and gives us a hug.
My teacher is really honest to other people, and she is also really kind. She's always respectful to everyone, and she was always very honest to other people and everyone, and I'm very thankful for her.
Miss Sullivan is an awesome teacher. Miss Pruse made me love math because she had lots of cool math games.
One time, Miss Galuppi made these 4-leaf clovers before Ohio State testing, and she took her outside of school time to make them.
The funniest thing Miss Dick and Miss Homer did was on Halloween, they dressed up as 6'7".
So what I really like most about the teachers here at Sherwood are they're all very welcoming when I'm walking in the halls, and just in general when I walk into the front doors, always saying hello and how are you, and just make me feel very welcome to the school.
Miss Elberger does really funny voices.
Miss Galuppi does 6'7". I love Mrs. Compos's laugh.
One of my favorite things about the teachers here at Sherwood is how they're not always in teacher mode. Like, they're not always talking about how you need to do this paper, how the test is next week. They're like connecting to you and telling funny stories and making it a lot better at school.
And one of my favorite things about my experience here at Sherwood is that my 6th grade math teacher, Mr. Urso, every Friday, he does celebrations and he dances. Not the best, but he tries. And it makes all of us laugh, and it's really fun.
Hug yourself. Back around. Bend down slowly. Slowly stay there. Stay there. Back up. Make a pose. Just like this. Cool. Now we're back in. Now it's each other. Now back over. Together. And there we go. Shot. Shot. Do Andy. We're always over here. Everyone, Andy, congratulations.
Okay, so that's why I've been missing your math class, and it was really important.
All right, I know I'm not as cute as the rest of these presenters, but I'll try my best to keep your attention for a little bit. So, hey everyone, I'm super excited to be here, and I'm really thankful for the opportunity to speak in front of all you wonderful teachers. I've been in this district as long as I can remember since kindergarten, starting at Air, moving through Nagel, and now I'm a senior at Anderson. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Will Santarelli, and
and I'm a senior who attends Anderson. When I was asked to give this speech, I was also a little bit confused, seems to be a trend. But I sat there and I thought to myself for a little bit, what really makes me enjoy coming to school every day? And I realized it's the teachers and the personal relationships that I've built with each and every one that I have. Aside from seeing my friends and getting good grades on a test, what really made school feel like a second home was each and every teacher that I talked to every day. During the school year, with sports and other extracurricular activities, students stay at school longer than they're awake at home sometimes. You teachers are the amazing people who understand this. You also notice when students are struggling or they lack motivation, not only with schoolwork, but also with their personal lives. The students are so appreciative, and the number of times I've seen a teacher step in and make an impact is immeasurable. You guys push us to see the potential in ourselves that we would never see alone. To touch on this further, I want to talk about a personal experience I've had with a teacher and a mentor, Adam Zabo, or to me, Coach Zabo. When I came into high school, it was kind of overwhelming, and I felt like I was going to school with adults and other people I didn't know. Coach Zabo helped me ease in. If you don't know him, he's the leader of our strength program at Anderson, and he puts his blood, sweat, and tears into it every day. Although he's a well-respected coach, what I always admire more about him is how he's able to build a personal relationship with every single athlete and student that gave him a chance. Just recently, although I've been out of his class for 3 years, and I've been out of his strength program because I'm retired now, I'm old news. He saw me walking down the hall when I was in a rough state of mind. I'd been working a lot, I felt like I had no time for myself, and I wasn't getting the proper sleep I needed. When on my way to a completely different class, a completely different teacher, he stopped me, pulled me aside, and asked, "Is everything okay? You seem really tired and worn out." When he spoke to me, my shoulders dropped. It felt like a weight fell off my shoulders, and I was able to stand up straight again. The fact that somebody noticed me and listened to my problems was all that I needed. We didn't come up with some miraculous solution, because at the end of the day, we all know things will get stressful. But his relationship with me and my trust in him was able to alter the situation. The reason this topic means so much to me is because it's my goal to help each student have a relationship with a teacher they trust, or find their Mr. Zabo. Because sometimes we as students need advice that can't come from our parents. From a teacher's perspective, though, I know it can be hard. Students are closed off sometimes. They might not always want to come up and talk to you. And I've noticed that. Usually, all they need is a little push and the teacher to make the first move. But what I've realized is that so many students do have these amazing teachers who care, because all of you are passionate not only about your job, but the well-being of each and every student who walks your school's halls. I experienced multiple teachers like this at every single school I went to in Forest Hills School District, from Mrs. Morency and Mrs. Huster at Air to Mr. Ellison and Mrs. Claber at Naval. And I obviously can't forget Mrs. Olson, Mr. Brandon, and Mr. Sams at Anderson. And yet there are still so many more that I connect with. But I had to shout a few out. But I know you all are incredible human beings, even if I don't know you personally. And the reason I know this is because this is the profession you chose. You all chose to be teachers, and you all chose to help these students each and every day. These relationships are about learning how to connect with people, how to seek guidance, and how to grow as young individuals. When we take the time to nurture these connections, we not only improve our school experience, but we also build skills to continue into college and beyond. As students, we're so grateful and lucky to have the opportunity to bond with all of you. Finally, I want to say thank you for the opportunity to speak again, and for the tireless hours every Forest Hills teacher pours into their career. I hope I was able to give at least a sliver of the love and appreciation back that you guys always give to us every single day. Thank you.
All right, before I start my speech, I would like to say 2 things. First, I want to shout out my 4th grade teachers, Ms. Prophet and Ms. Stewart. Stand up. And next, Ms. Stewart, I'm not doing that math quiz, sorry. And I'd like to shout out my 5th grade teachers, Mr. Renard and Ms. Champoni. This isn't right. I didn't know teachers had school today when we don't. You have to be at school when we have a day off and learn. I thought teachers already knew everything. I mean, you are the ones that say things like, make sure you show your work and check it again, and you can do better. I guess you're learning every day like we do. Thank you for not giving up when we say, this is too hard. Thank you for not giving up when we say, I don't get it. And especially, thank you for not giving up when we say, do we have to do this? Because the truth is, sometimes we don't believe in ourselves yet, but you believe in us first. You don't just teach math, you teach reading. But you don't just teach math, you teach confidence. You don't just teach reading, you teach courage. You don't just teach lessons, you teach people. We notice more than you think. We notice when you smile at us. We notice when you say we do a good job. We notice when you say I'm proud of you. And we notice when you show up every single day, ready to help us. Even on the days when we're loud. Even on the days when we push your limits. You still show up, and that means a lot. Because one day, we won't remember every worksheet, and we won't remember every test, but we will remember how you made us feel. You make us feel like we belong. You make us feel like we can do hard things. And especially, the most important thing, you show us that learning never stops, not even for teachers. So today, while you learn new things, just remember that everything you do is all for us, and we are worth it. We might not say it every day, we might not show it every day, but because of you, we are braver, we are smarter, we are stronger, and we are ready. So thank you, teachers, for being learners, and for being the reason we believe in ourselves. And don't worry, we'll keep showing our work if you keep showing up. Thank you, and have an amazing PD day.
Now before I start, I want to give a quick shout out to our Mercer 6th grade teachers. Miss Reeder, Miss Basil, Miss Cox, Miss Petrella, and Miss Phillips. Can y'all stand up?
As we kick off the third month of 2026, let's be honest. The new year, new me has officially been replaced by new year, more caffeine. Being a teacher in 2026 is basically like being a rock star, except instead of a tour bus, you have a rolling cart with one squeaky wheel. And instead of screaming fans, you have 30 people asking to go to the bathroom at the exact same time.
In reality, the job is more like being a high-stakes hostage negotiator, where the hostages are the ones demanding skibbity memes and your last shred of dignity. But behind the TikTok dances and the 45 forgotten Chromebook chargers, there's a reason why we actually showed up today.
To our favorite high-stakes improv stars, we see it all. We see you handling the creative focus of the desk drummers and brick counters with legendary patience. We see you calming the high-stake perfectionists who treat a 98% like a forensic emergency. When our 2026 energy turns the classroom into a wild card adventure, you're the calm anchor turning our I can't into I get it. You're the only ones who get our memes and the only heroes turning school into a vibe worth showing up for.
When the classroom descends into chaos and the energy is through the roof, you are the steady calm. We see you staying calm when a student melts down over a less than perfect score, patiently turning their frustration into a teaching moment. You don't just teach us subjects, you model grace under pressure. Thank you for being calm in our storm. We are 6th grade students and notice how all staff have so much patience with us kids. Us kids can be wretched and annoying, but they have so much patience. They are so kind and friendly to all. Here's an example. We have a student at Mercer and they think they need to have a perfect score all the time. Our teachers are so kind and just ask them to take a break. Then shortly after, try to de-escalate the situation. This goes to show how all staff can be amazing at teaching, but also have an amazing heart and care for all students.
As we wrap things up today, let's take a second to acknowledge the real MVPs in this room. We know we aren't always the easiest crowd to manage. In fact, some days, teaching us is probably less like a career and more like trying to herd caffeinated cats through a laser maze. Between our lost assignments that are actually in our backpacks and our ability to turn a simple pencil sharpener into a full-scale distraction, we know we keep you on your toes. But in all seriousness, we see the heart you put into every lesson. You don't just show up to grade papers, you show up to build us up. You're the ones who believe in us, even when we're still figuring out how to believe in ourselves. Your patience is our anchor, and your kindness is what makes this school feel like a community.
So, to our amazing teachers and staff out there, thank you for being our champions. We're proud to be your students. Now let's go out there and make this year one to remember.